Oh, come on. Can you pass these out to everyone that's got something football-y on, and then collect them as we go? I've just got one pen, but yeah. All right, folks. We will get going. It is 11 o'clock, and we are live. Hey, Gina Legeza, can you give me a thumbs up if you can hear me?
I can hear you perfect. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. All right. Well, this is a good-looking bunch today. Raise your hand if you're attempting to wear some football swag today. That's a pretty good turnout. I might not have given you enough slips there. So Aaron Roby is circulating with a piece of paper. All right, listen up, folks. And if you're participating, write your name on that. We're entering. We'll probably draw 3 names for. We got Starbucks, we got AMC, we got Target, we got Chipotle. We're gonna do some gift cards to celebrate. Whose team won this weekend? Okay, yeah. My team lost to a bad team in the last win. All right, well, we have a full meeting planned today, as always. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here on Zoom. This is, in case you guys aren't familiar, this franchise is no longer in existence. The Houston Oilers, I've never lived in Houston, but I'm an Ohio State fan. It's Eddie George who went to Ohio State. He's my guy. Gina says she can't see me. I'm gonna pin myself. That should help. Yeah, so I'm now actually a Titans fan. So Aaron is representing and Jeff is representing. Never lived in Tennessee either. I'm a weird one that way. Before we dive in, let's do as we always do. Gratitude, bucket fills, who can we thank? What can we be thankful for today? I'll get started as you guys are thinking. 2, 1, I'm grateful for Christy. You've been with us 2 months now? 6 weeks. And has stepped in. Amanda's out this week on vacation. She's taken on a lot, doing swimmingly. Also, she's not here today, but Paige Morgan lent me some left-handed golf clubs so that I could embarrass myself on Friday. So thank you, Paige. I had fun, even though it looked ugly. Nick Remark, folks, he sunk a 120-yard chip. A pitch. I don't know the difference. It's one of these things. Yeah, it was awesome. Other gratitudes. Rich, then Jose.
Retract that.
That will be fully operational next time. Yes. Jose?
I don't know if we can see the start video and you're on. And I wanted to thank everyone that put time and effort into the golf event. That's a lot of fun.
It was. Can you start my video as well? I saw Linda, and then we'll go Joel. Whoa. That's a big deal. Joel.
Hey, I also wanted to thank Mr. Swift here, did a great job with the auction we had. It was a huge success, takes a lot of participation. And after, what is it, 5 hours to play or something like that? Really active with the Raver hand and
Yeah. Thanks to Jack and Joel for your work with the auction. Those are always a good time. Well, there we go. Okay, thank you. Don't let me forget this. One more.
No, I tell you, every month we come to these. Tell you what, it's like I walk away from these meetings with something that is just like timing is right, looking for something to bring it. who the masterminds are behind it. Come on, let's rock the house.
It's Amanda who's sitting on Virginia Beach right now, just holding the follow through, you know? Thanks, Doug. Appreciate that. Would it be best if if I was the host here?
They can see you. You're good.
They're not going to be able to see me clicking through in a second here. Or stream mine. Yeah, let me take over. Screen mirroring. I'm about to usurp you. Yep, there we go. Awesome. All right, we have a handful of new faces. I don't know if any are in the room today, but Sierra Jones has recently joined us, coming over from Howard Hanna. Michaela Great has joined the Sanford team out of the Worcester office. And then Michelle Natoli came over, friends with Samantha Wales. So thank you for making that connection. And also, she'll register next month, but a welcome back to Sarah Donahue. Sarah, previously an agent with us in 2018, back in the day, and has come back working with the Kelly team now, which is fantastic. Any other fresh faces that I haven't seen that aren't represented here? Yeah, Brendan's here. Awesome. Nick, come on up. Talk with us about what's happening in the world of production.
So August, good profit share month, $50,000, $393.36. $50,393.36. I can speak correctly. That's a great profit share month. For the year to date, we're at $328,021.
Those are massive numbers. So great work, and great work to Nick, because that's a lot of transactions, and a lot of transactions coming back over. So that's fantastic.
Our August cappers, Allison Eslich, Aaron Roby.
Chris Johnson himself. Aaron went full-time, what, 3 months ago? Caps 6 weeks later, couple $1 million months. He's on fire. 2,000-yard season coming up next.
Our August top producers, my interviewers.
I'll slide them when the time comes.
And I'm gonna do my best with names. Bear with. I know I butchered them. Andy Alamini, Tina Bagnoli, Bree Beedling, Shannon Gray, Ryan Robson, Jeremy Robson, John Brown, Jonathan Burris, Ashley Candia, Cindy Carpenter, Amy Carricker, Olivia Christie, Devin Kofeld, Alyssa Conrad, Sheila Grossman, Preston Donahue, Jared Dutton, Brandon Fleming, Amanda Garcia, Amanda Gordon, Amy Guthrie, Nikki Horvath, Tom Heidi, Eric Henry, Ryan Jones, Tracy Jones, Alyssa Kingzette, Marcy, Michelle Knight, Christian Lamb, Annabelle Lakota, Rachel Hogue, Hannah Laps, Brianna Lehman. Lehman or Lehman?
Layman.
Lehman. All right, we'll get that. Kevin McCauley, Jose Medina, Doug Miller, Eli Mongold, Jen Mucci, Ryan Prosser, Nick Remark, Jonathan Riley, Christina Roberto, Aaron Roby, Caitlin Shepard, Julie Smith Geiser, Melissa Sprouse, Melissa Steiner, Holly Van Riper, Jackie Wachem,
Wakeham.
oh, and Stephanie Webb.
Wow.
One of them.
And a few first timers on that list. So congrats to Preston, Jeff. You're a couple months in a row. Oh, you weren't this long. Forgive me, Caitlin. A couple times now. So great work. Melissa Sprouse came on a couple months ago, and she's hot out the gate. So great work to all of you. Great work to Nick on reading that. That might be a record. We need to start tracking how many people. Rich, come on up.
Yeah. Morning, everybody. Well, actually, I'll go in reverse.
What team are you today, Rich?
My own.
Party of one.
I'm not good at golf. We found that out last time. Right. So, actually, we're gonna keep the celebration going. I'll get to this stuff in just a Nice. Yes, it's about 30 to 38%, but I'm telling you right now, the production is out of control. It's amazing. The group that we have on this list, Ken Weaver, Lisa Kovac, Chris Wilson, Eric Henry, and Jeff Halford, they're going to close a little over $2 million in less than 2 months.
Wow.
Just in the year. We'll talk a little bit about the MLS. There are a few of you that still haven't paid your dues, and they have cut you off now. So if you go to log in the MLS, don't call me. You're cut off, and you'll have to call them and pay your bill. But I want to talk a little bit about, as we get longer times for marketing time, I guess I should say. I know it's moved from like 2 hours to 10 days now, but as we go a little bit more, you're going to find that you will end up at 30-day market. You're going to have agents that like take something off the market, put it back on the market. Just remember, if you're going to do that, you need to do a withdrawal with release. If you withdraw it without release, you cannot relist the property at all during the original listing period. And I would also say, there for a while, we were probably taking 30-day listings, maybe even 90-day listings. Remember that now that we are at the end of the year, first of all, your date's going to have to change on that listing agreement to 2023. Make sure that that is done for your end date. And I would highly encourage you to start taking those 3 to 6 month listing periods again, as our market times are going to continue to grow. Let's see here. The areas are still going away. You're going to notice that highlight there. So if you have not changed your automatic emails yet, please do so. And then just a quick reminder about earnest money, because I get this call weekly. There are only 3 ways that earnest money is going to be delivered to anybody. The one is a mutual release. That means both parties agree who's going to get it. Could be you. If you want to try and write that in, that might be good. Could be the broker, and I'd be happy with that. But if you want to see your client get their money back, you need a fully executed mutual release. If that doesn't happen, it's a final court order. And if that doesn't happen, after 2 years, the depository that is holding the check will actually write the funds back to the original depositor. That's it. Like, there is no magic secret. There is no reason that grandma's going to get her money back because she lent it to her grandson, who then didn't close on the house. Okay. That is the world's smallest microphone.
You actually put it in your mouth.
Right. Test. Okay. You behave yourself, Linda. All right. And then 2 things for VA transactions. Just remember your well inspections. You have to have all of the boxes checked on our purchase agreement. Under that, there are 5 inspections for the well. You need to make sure that you're testing for the potability, nitrates, nitrites, lead, and what's the other one? There's one more. Oh, flow. So those 5 need to be for VA, and also the veteran is now able to pay their own pest inspection. So don't forget that that is negotiable. Lastly, so the Ohio Realtors Convention is coming up September 18th through the 21st, actually next week. And it's in Cleveland. So you can drive up, drive back. It's a great event. There's tons of CE classes. So if you haven't registered, you can do that at the Ohio Realtors website. Take some classes, drive up for 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, whatever, but it's a great time. The Ohio Realtors has a team summit coming up in Columbus on October 17th. It's only $59. If the Rainmaker can't go, I highly encourage you to send somebody from your team. It is whether you are thinking about starting a team, how you're going to start a team, whether you should start a team. Yeah. So there's a lot of great things there. And it's great that Ohio Realtors, I think that we need to show our value there for Keller Williams agents and agencies that have teams, because this is the first time they're ever doing something with teams, which is huge. So we need to acknowledge and actually pay attention to what they're doing so that they can kind of embrace teams at the state, because they have not in the past. And then the last thing is Leadership Academy. We have 3 graduates of Ohio Leadership Academy right here at Keller Williams. One is Melissa Sanford. Eric Henry is going to be our newest. I myself in 2017. If you are a member of STAR, we pay for it. It's $1,250 for the year. It is a year-long commitment, well worth it. Whether you want to be leadership of your own life, in your community, in the real estate world, it doesn't matter. You take a deep dive into who you are, what you're about. And and there's only 12 people picked in the entire state. So it's well worth signing your name up on that. And you have to drive to Columbus for probably a 30-minute interview. Well worth it. I think Eric could probably speak to that for days. I know I could, and Melissa probably could as well. Changes your life, personal and business. So
I'd love to see one of our agents participate again next year.
absolutely. Joel?
Can I take a quick 60 seconds just to earmark something you mentioned?
Yeah.
You know, the market's obviously changing.
Do you want the world's smallest microphone?
Talk up a little bit, you know, we've been fashion working on Florida, Lauderdale, and, it's really changing. We've been contacting a lot of sellers. Here's something that you can think about. These sellers are gonna hit these expired, they're gonna have to know that their property hasn't moved in the market, which is considered one of the hottest, and they have to consider reducing. One option you have, we've been doing a lot more online auctions, even with reserve, and here's what it does, it protects that glass ceiling as you can advertise. Last listed at $595 or $395 or $1,000,005, whatever the number is. Still hang on to that last listing price without reducing, which typically, and Jose, you know, probably as well as me or better, that once this market changes and the buyers understand it, they will start backing up with reductions
Right.
instead of moving towards like a hot market.
Good word.
Yeah.
Thanks, Joel.
Any questions? Good. All right. Awesome. Thank you.
Well, they're matching on this picture, but not quite as well as they are today. Holy moly, come on down. Bringing it.
Well, she texted me and she's like, hey, it's Spirit Day and I'm wearing this. And I was like, I might. Hello. I was like, I might have the same thing. So we're matching. It's cool.
The doctors
You're
of
jealous.
football.
Do we look like doctors? All right. So take one down, pass it around. This. I don't do well with holding something. I just like my hands. All right, so we have something fun coming up. As you guys may or may not know, there's a super fun movie, Hocus Pocus 2, coming out.
Ooh.
And so we are going to do a little fun matinee. We're going to have some fun concession stand treats. We may or may not dress up like the three sisters. We're happy to get a third. If you are interested, the butt tooth. I will be playing the ditzy blonde, which is a really hard
No.
sell, I know.
Impossible.
Impossible. We are looking for that third. So if anybody wants to, latch on to that. Anyway, so it's going to be a fun time. It's really total fun. So come hang out with us on the 20th for a movie matinee.
Of October.
October
Great.
20th. So we also have some pumpkin Reese cups if anybody would like to partake, because we're celebrating the fact that Reese cups, because the perfect ratio are obviously lots of shaking heads, the pumpkins, the eggs, the Christmas trees. It's the perfect chocolate to peanut butter ratio. We have to celebrate that somehow.
Javon's like, giving an
Yeah,
amen.
right? Girl.
Oh yeah, come on. Oh man.
Sorry.
Sarah does not want it.
Yes, I don't
might wanna
trust
go underhand.
myself at all. Hold on, underhand might be better.
Maybe you could pitch it.
Yes. All right. Any other peanut butter lovers? Yes. Oh, watch your face. Okay. All right. Our other fun thing is we just wanted to celebrate all the support that we get from you guys. So we're going to do a little gift card drawing. If you closed anything with us in the month of September,
Ooh.
your name is in our bag for
Oh.
little teeny tiny names, and it's for it's for Tremont Coffee. Yeah, we heard that.
Oh, shots fired.
Used to be. They have a new roaster. They're not any good.
Oh.
Oh, wow.
Awkward.
The old one was better.
I
can't wait to give it away.
Thanks, Nick.
I'm just kidding.
I don't work there anymore. So, yeah.
Oh.
Aaron was the head roaster. Now he's gone.
It was an awkward compliment.
Yeah.
It's so good. I had one
It's
this
still
morning.
All right, who's winning?
Okay, sorry.
Are we taking too long?
The smallest font. Marissa,
Needs to be at least 3 times this size.
okay.
It looks
Look how
like
small it is. Okay, this person isn't around this area, so I will get her one for her area.
Hmm.
It's Lori.
Oh, nice.
Lori Shosted. Congratulations, Lori. You'll be getting something from
She's probably
that
on
one
here.
place on
Lori's a
on that one.
Relax,
Straight.
it's just called.
Relax. it's
Lori,
just
you're
coffee.
winning. I see you on there. I'll bring it
Jen
tomorrow.
Anucci. So we will
Jen,
get
is she
that to
here?
Jen.
All right, we'll get it to her downstairs. Okay, thanks, guys.
Thank you. Go Bucks.
Coot, coot.
All right, we're gonna transition into kind of a mega camp recap, talking about building systems, all of that. But before we do, I shared this, but wanted to watch this. This is a 5-minute video, so get comfy. We didn't bring popcorn today, but I think captures really beautifully kind of the essence of KW. Hopefully we have no volume issues here.
In 2023, Keller Williams turns 40. And sometimes midlife crisis is a good thing. Now, we aren't going to run out and buy a flashy sports car, or a boat, or some other toy. We aren't suddenly going to grow a mustache because we've already got one. But it is time for something big, because that's what we do. It's time to tell the world who we really are and why we were called to this. T.S. Eliot said, "We shall not cease from exploration, and the end of all our exploring will be to arrive where we started and know the place for the first time." We started as a small real estate company with a mission to become so trusted by our clients that we could become their realtor for life. But of course, Gary Keller taught us that to be realtors for life, we had to be more than realtors. We're coaches, therapists, mentors, mind readers, and magicians. We're digital hunters with human touch. Wheelers and dealers who only use our powers for good. We are advocates and shoulders to cry on, friends to lean on, and confidants to trust. Together, we are the keys and the doors to new futures. This is the most important time in our lives, as a company, and simply as people. Your clients are feeling that same thing when they come to you. Their first homes, their final homes, newly married, newly divorced, empty nesters, or more on the way. These are the most joyous, terrifying, and hopeful times of all our lives, because your clients are jumping off cliffs and trusting you to build wings on the way down. We get to feel the thrill of that connection every day, if we do our jobs right. If we do our jobs right, they aren't jobs at all. It is indeed a calling to build careers worth having, businesses worth owning, and lives worth living. To be entrepreneurs. For 40 years, we at Keller Williams have deeply believed that entrepreneurship is the miracle of America. That in America, you can dream it, you can build it. We're privileged to be in the business of buying and selling the most important and life-changing dream. Dream of owning a home of your own. It's not just an American dream, it's a dream shared around the world. At Keller Williams, we want to continue to earn the right to be the home of the dreamers, the doers, the entrepreneurs, the hundreds of thousands of you who have dreamed and built your own business, and in the process, built ours. We all know everything changes, but we will always champion you, the entrepreneurs who are powered by purpose, by energy and passion, teamwork, trust, and technology, integrity and culture, and trained in the rules of how we would do it, but who also have the confidence to bend the rules in ways Gary never dreamed of, but hoped you would. You see, we aren't here to teach you our past or to try and predict your future. We're here to help you create the future. We are reigniting a culture of celebrating entrepreneurial visionaries, because real leaders don't create followers. We create more leaders. We are teaching rebellion and inspiring invention. You're mavericks and world changers. And your relentless creativity, fueled by the competitive drive inside every one of you, will make the real estate models of today look quaint by the time you're finished. Everything we ever did was a risk. We started as a little underdog company and grew to be the largest real estate company in the world. You know what underdogs do when they get big? They look for bigger fights. Look for those fights. We want you to out-Gary Gary. Take risks, take heart, take action. All these things that you are for your clients, the coach, the therapist, and the key to a new future, We will redevote ourselves to being for you. There's a reason we want your name larger than ours on signs. When you look at your clients and think to yourself, it's not about me, it's about them. Well, it's not about us. It's about you. This is the most important time in our lives. You're living in a home built for entrepreneurs to thrive. And true entrepreneurs don't have to wait for doors to open. After all, we have our own lockboxes. Welcome home.
As a Jose comes up, I'd love to hear a reaction or two for those who are seeing that for the first time. Whoop, sorry.
Wait, does that mean they've contacted the state of Ohio and said it's okay for our names to be bigger? The legacy group.
Rick was cringing when they said that.
Reactions. Encouraging, inspiring. I think it connected with, I think we talk business and we talk tactics a lot, but I think it connected with the heart. You know, people are jumping out of a plane, building a parachute on the way down and trusting you to be there to catch them. Who resonates with that from, you know, a deal that you've closed in the last year or so. I love that. I also love, I think one of the things that drew me to KW, and I'd love to hear you chime in on this as well, Jose, is real estate for the longest time has been being a salesperson of the brokerage in a very simple, you know, go and sell houses and don't think beyond that. And I think Gary's vision and in the structure that an environment that he's built out creates an ecosystem where people who want to build the biggest business possible don't need to start their own brokerage to do that.
Yeah. It perfectly encapsulates what KW is. It's a home for entrepreneurs to run their business underneath the KW ecosystem.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
So raise your hand if you went to Mega Camp. I think there's just a couple of you here, digitally or otherwise. Yeah, a few of us participated digitally. Jose did, and Stacy, who we'll be hearing from in a couple minutes, did. But one of the standard parts is Gary's kind of state of the industry talk. So Jose is going to share kind of a couple key takeaways from that side of things.
Yeah, you can go next slide. I'm going to do a 3-minute version of his hour-long state of the economy. So this first graph, if you're anything like me, like you're like, oh, that's a lot of cool colors, and what does that really mean? So if you look at the pink, that represents months of inventory for 2021, right? Obviously very low, as you see. And then if you look at the turquoise, that's 2022. So you can see over the months, especially start paying attention to May, where you start to see the turquoise take over. And so you can see that months of inventory is creeping up, right? And so we're at 1.9, 2.2, 2.6, 2.9, 3.3. So you're starting to see, like, overall national wise, it's creeping up. And is that a buyer's market or a seller's market? Seller's market. Is it as intense of a seller's market as what we were in? No, but it's still a seller's market. What's the number that we want that transitions to like a balanced market? 6 months, right? You got a bunch of A+ students here. So just that's a number to keep an eye on, right? And that's a national number. It's kind of like asking what's the weather nationally.
Yeah.
Right. Everything is local. So being able to pull those numbers for you, for Perry Township, for $200,000 house is going to be different than North Canton and $400,000, right? So
right, it's not just Ohio versus California, it's your community versus 20 minutes away.
Yeah, your community, your price point, even all of that changes. So just this is a national level look at it. Home sales monthly. I don't remember what that looks like. Okay, so is this the one I sent you?
I think so.
Okay. Okay, yes, it is. So yes, okay, yeah, that's right. So this here, so again, a lot of numbers, a lot of colors. Again, 2021 is this dark blue. The turquoise is 2022. And so what this shows paced out annually where you're at monthly for sales. And so if we want to be close to 2021, those two would be equal. So you can see beginning of the year, we started off pretty equally. And then as rates went up, you'll see the difference in these two, especially over the last 2 months. Now, what I'll say is this is a national number. And what we see in Midwest Ohio is we're not as extreme as what these numbers are, right? So like I pull a lot of local numbers and it's not nearly the drop off yet that they're seeing on a national level, right? So they happen on the East Coast and West Coast and the bigger cities first, and then it comes to us. But nationally, that's what they're seeing is this massive drop off in the amount of sales. So not hit here as much,
Right.
And be aware of what the trends are nationally because they will eventually get here.
We have the benefit of being in middle America that a trend never starts here. For better and worse, in this business, it's good because it means we can, okay, that's coming, probably not going to be as severe, and we know what to prepare for. Whereas when you're in California, or Florida, you're at the front lines of it. These are seasonally adjusted annual numbers, meaning 4.8 million in July. If you see here, that is a rolling 12-month what they're projecting that year to be. So in 2021, there were 6.1 million home sales in the country. NAR's latest update was they're anticipating there to be 4.8 million sold. So that's a meaningful drop and still a really strong market.
Yeah, that's a over 20% drop in sales. Yeah. And so the interesting part of this is you're seeing a decrease in sales, and then you're also still seeing an uptick in membership for NAR, right? So it's like the perfect storm of competition kind of heading into this market. So if you look at in 2012, you were at 1 million realtors nationwide. Right now, we're over 1.5 million realtors nationwide. And there's a lag with people getting in because I set out last night to get my real estate license. It's going to be a 6 months, 8 months. I'm going to be in the business. And then if I don't do anything, it's going to be another 6 to 8 months before I get out of the business, right? And so we expect that number to continue to kind of go up for people like kind of just starting in the process of getting licensed before it will go down. So you got the perfect storm of like, oh, we got some less sales, we got more competition, and this is that kind of market that we're in right now. I get to give all the wonderful news.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about this one? This is shift, or do you want me to?
You go ahead. And
Okay. So this is kind of what we were just talking about. Available income. As the market goes up, there's agents to get in the business. As the market goes down, there's you'll see eventually agents getting out of the business. And we're kind of in this market right here where it's the survival, where there's just less business and more competition, which is not very fun. But those that make it through this section is really, really fun because it's the least amount of competition and the market's jetting up at that point.
Right.
So it's like a roller coaster ride, right? You got to survive this part and then you get to go back up. So
right.
Yeah, that's it.
And those who are participating in our shift series, hang on a second, Joel. We talked the other day about being serious about winning, kind of making the choice. You could be, I'm feeling kind of tentative. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, that's one posture. The other is, yeah, it's going to get trickier and I'm not going anywhere and I'm committed to winning through this market. And if that's your mentality, and I hope every hand raises in the room, say, no, like that's my mentality. I'm not waiting and seeing, I'm getting after it. You'll find yourself there, a part of a smaller group of agents that are ready to take more of the market, which is really, really exciting. And
yeah. So like in past, when this played out before, this was like 2014, 15, and 16, which was for me, like some of the most profitable years, some of the like, wow, this is amazing type markets. And then the competition comes back in and so forth. So just know if this is your first ride, yes, it's a little bumpy on the way down. And for those that can thrive and do that necessary activities on the way up is pretty cool too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Awesome. Joel, we're a little behind on time, so I'm going to keep us moving. Thanks, Jose. Stacy, if you want to come on down. We're going to have a different type of conversation now. Jose, can I grab the mic from you?
Nope.
Thank you, sir. There you go, Stacy. Welcome. So the type of conversation I want to have here is, as I meet with many of you and many who aren't represented in the room today, you've heard us talk about moving from E to P. E is entrepreneurial. This is how I naturally am. This is what I'm naturally good at. This is what I normally choose to spend my time doing. That can get you to a certain point. Maybe that gets you to selling 15 houses a year. Maybe that's not working at all and you're just spinning your wheels. Maybe you've built a really good business off of that. P means purposeful. It means saying, hey, my personality and my energy and my relationships alone aren't enough to get me from where I am to where I want to be. The difference between E and P is intentionality as it relates to your use of models and systems. At KW, we say we're not a brand-based company. You don't see our billboards around the interstate. We're a models-based company. Who knows the 5 models off the top of their head? Anyone want to take a stab? Economic model, lead generation model, organizational model, financial model, and then there's an expansion model as well. And then there's systems. So beneath each of those, hey, here's what I do to generate leads. Here's what I do to nurture my clients. Here's what I do to make sure that my clients have an amazing contract to close experience. Most people work on relationship and goodwill alone. And there's nothing like evil about that, but you're fooling yourself to say, I can get from here to here with that being the plan. So I wanted to bring Stacy in. Stacy, before we kind of dive into the meat of it, who are you, and give us a little bit of background.
So I've been with Jose for about 7 years in February. And I hold 2 roles on his team. And one is I'm a closing manager. So I'm a licensed agent and I negotiate on the list side from signed contract to close. So I keep using this number, but probably is not correct for last year, but I close about 250, negotiate 250 deals. I think that was my number. Yeah, that's it.
When does it get to you in the closing
So
process?
that's a great question. So once the listing agent gets it signed, and it's fully signed all together, ABAs and all, it comes to my desk. And there's a breakdown of like, who is this person? Why are they selling? What's going on in their lives, so that we're all aware, what this person's going through, because there is a lot of counseling involved. And so I get the contract at that point and I take it from there on out to the closing table. And the listing agent usually comes back into the scene at the closing table, and they're still available. We look
they look glamorous and you're saying,
yes,
so help me.
we explain it like this. He's not like, he or she is not handing you, down to me. They're handing you up. They're good at getting you the best price for your house, your property, and I'm good at negotiating repairs. So hopefully.
Yeah. Yep.
So yeah.
So that's one hat you wear, and
then my other hat is director of operations for Jose. So I oversee the operations department, which includes our client for life specialist, 2 transaction coordinators for our buyer's agents. There's 2 closing managers, of course, I'm one of them. Our client, or our director of first impressions, who is our front desk girl, but she does way more than that. And our listing department. We have a listing coordinator and we have a marketing specialist. And then we more recently added a social media, well, our marketing specialist again. But she does more marketing for JMA. She's not out marketing the property on the MLS.
Right.
So, yeah.
Right. Sure. A lot of people, and so this conversation is applicable to everyone, whether you're new, whether you're looking to maybe hire someone, or whether you're already in a team environment. Going from, hey, we're under contract, like, don't worry, I'll take care of you throughout the process, but I'm not telling you what the process is, to your client, the client for life experience. So, I just keep in touch with my people and we're in touch. Like, lots of people do the things and are nice and hardworking through it, but there's no like, hey, tell me your process. Most people can't answer that question. So I'd love to dive in on those 2 in particular. So your relationship with your database, your people, as well as the contract to close experience. Let's do nurturing your people. What does that look like? What are your goals? How do you set that up?
It's a really hard job. And We obviously use a system. We have top producer in place. There's other systems out there that are just as good. And we basically started Client for Life, I want to say back in 2017, 18. And so everyone that we close a deal with on buy side, list side gets put in that database. And we reach out to them multiple times a year. So I think we went from like a 26 touch program to a 57 touch program. So basically what we're doing, and I know that sounds like a lot, but basically that's through all kinds of contacts. So after the property closes, our girl reaches out and she says, how was your closing? Like, how did the agents do? How did the closing transaction coordinators do? Give us some feedback. And if you give us feedback, like we'll send you a small gift. So that's a quality control call. We also do value calls, and those value calls are done monthly. We break it down because if you look at your database, it looks huge, right? You've got all these people you want to reach out to. So break it down into manageable bite-sized pieces. And basically we do that by going by the alphabet. Like, so it's A and Z, B and, Y, whatever. And so using that system, what's going on in real estate at the time, we either send out a monthly market report, we do a 6-month check-in call. We recently sent out something about back to school. So all kinds of stuff. We're having a blood drive. If we're having something in the community or partnering with someone, we let them know. In fact, in our blood drive, we're going to say, hey, come by and donate. We have other scheduled events. So we have a 4th of July pie event. We have a fall mumming. We have a Christmas client event that gets a pretty good turnout. We have, which one am I missing? Did I say 4th of July pie?
Easter egg.
Easter egg, yes.
Yeah.
We have an egging. So those are our main ones, but we.
Vandalism in the night, nothing, nothing.
So basically we reach out to them at their 1-year house anniversary.
Is the 57, sorry for interrupting,
That's okay.
from 26 to 57, was that, calculated, research, we want to,
It naturally, organically
or it's just,
grows.
hey, we want to find more ways to be in touch with our people. That's a lot. Like if you heard that and felt overwhelmed, you're normal. How often are people saying, get me off your list, I don't want another mum or another egg or another invite? Tell me about.
Yeah. So really it needs to come from contribution. Like, why would you want to hear from you? If you sold a house with someone,
Write that down.
why would you want them to contact you?
Mhm.
Do you want them to say, hey, don't forget about the fall time change? No, you don't care.
Yeah.
That's your phone's gonna automatically do it. So, I mean, if you're educating or you're giving them some sort of value, they care. So, and it does organically, ideas pop in, things, it gets easier when you start a touch program to begin with. It could be 10, and then it goes to 16, and then it goes to 26. And then, you know what I mean? You could do a newsletter. You can reach out, send them birthday cards, reach out to them and congratulate them on their anniversary, get their birthdays, those kind of things.
Is the touch plan, so you knew that number, is it clearly defined? Here's the document that outlines, this is the system that we follow, and we can tweak it. We can go down to 55 or up to 59 if we want to, but it lives somewhere.
Yes.
How does it get tweaked as you go, and you
Yes.
own that? Client for Life person
The
owns
Client
that?
for Life owns that. So as they progress in this, ideas come, they start to get more ideas, and it partners. So for a while there, we made the mistake of the Client for Life specialist taking over a lot of marketing tasks as well. And that's a problem. Sometimes they need to be paired closely together, but those two are very, very different. So to partner with them, that kind of is how you can differentiate, but they own that role. It's up to them to add touches, take touches away. So part of the process is evaluating what you're doing. Is it getting a good response? Are you going back and looking? Are people unsubscribing to your content? Are they receptive? That kind of thing. So constantly going back through your numbers, seeing, what your rate is, your rate of return, and then following through, building on the things that are working and taking the things that aren't working away.
Really quick, as I seek to apply this to a solo agent that isn't going to hire a Client for Life specialist today.
Right.
What are the different operational roles within the team? Again, you said there's a marketing, social media, you've got contract to close.
Mhm. So there's transaction coordinators, closing managers. Closing managers are licensed, work on the listing side. Transaction coordinators are not, work on the buy side. Client for life specialists, staying on top of the database, keeping the database cleaned up. That's another thing, real quick, not to deviate, but keeping the database cleaned up. Like, don't reach out to someone, you know, whose husband just passed away and include her husband's name on the card, that kind of thing. So making sure you're constantly cleaning the database up. There's our director of first impressions, our marketing specialist in the listing department. She puts all the marketing remarks on the MLS. Our listing coordinator takes all the pictures, and then I think I covered everybody.
Manages feedback or
Yeah.
So takeaway, like, okay, we're not all going to go out and hire all of those roles. That means that if you're a solo agent, surprise, you wear those hats. So as we think about nurturing your database, the takeaway is, okay, I'm not hiring someone 40 hours a week to do this. I need to commit 4 hours a week to my database to touch them 14 times a year. I think what can feel intimidating in a conversation like this is, well, I'm not there. Oh, I'm not running a team like that. Therefore, I'm not going to have a plan. That's not the answer. The answer is, what plan makes sense for where I'm at? And maybe it's 14 this year for 4 hours a week, and next year I'm able to bring in a virtual assistant to help with some of that so that it's 32 touches. So breaking it down to component parts as it's applicable for your situation. And I think another key takeaway for me there is it's written down. It's not, oh, what should I post this week, or who should I call this week? What plan am I choosing to work? And then working it. Can we shift over to the contract to close experience? What do you hope for your clients to experience in that process? What does that look like?
Referral business, repeat business. That's what you want. You want to really just keep them informed. They shouldn't have to reach out to you for an update. And at times that does happen. You know what I mean? You have certain clients that just need a little bit more care than other clients. But basically, it's keeping the client informed, letting them know you're on their side, you're working on their behalf. And, you know, at the end of the day, when the client for life, you know, individual calls, this was a great experience. And it's a lot. I mean, on the transaction coordination side, there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes as far as paperwork, compliance, but also planning, you know, setting inspections for buyer's agents, that kind of thing, reaching out to contractors behind the scenes. They don't spend as much time with the client, but that client still has an awesome experience because that transaction coordinator is involved and doing a lot of work so that that buyer's agent, you know, leveraging that off of the agent. So the agent can go and work with more buyers. And on the list side, it's heavily involved, and we're building a relationship with that person. And so really counseling, those kind of conversations, those things, but really getting them to the closing table. And I always say, like, as smooth as possible. I never promise smooth because it doesn't always happen that way. But I tell them, like, I'm on your behalf. Everything I'm doing is on your behalf. So
you obviously have some sort of checklist that you work through. Hey, okay, we're under contract. Boom.
Yeah.
How many points are on the listing side? How many are on the buy side?
Yeah, there's a task management. I don't know exactly how many, but it's basically task management. And it's, you know, starting.
What program do you guys use for that?
We use Top Producer, but we've been looking at Sisu, which is also a great task management system. And there are others, and you could even put this in an Excel spreadsheet. You know, do this, do that, do this.
Command does this for solo agents as well, for stages of the process.
Yeah, but it gives you a guide, you know, to basically, it becomes second nature. But when you're busy, you can miss something, right? So that task management list is very important. And I know Hosea said it before, it is guaranteeing that your clients are all getting the same experience, right? You're not missing this, you're not missing that. You have your list. And you're basically reaching out, you're introducing yourself, you're, you know, scheduling inspection with them, letting them know and informing them, this is what's coming. And I can't stress that more, is to say to them, this is what's coming. So
do you have, when you go under contract, I'm going to interrupt her, sorry.
Sure, that's okay.
Is there, like, here's the letter, here's the standard email. What, it's one thing for you to know what happens next. It's another thing for the client to be able to anticipate that. What does setting their expectations look like as far as system and documentation goes?
It's a conversation and an email follow-up. And I have to say that text messages work just as well. And people really respond to text. They like that. They want to be able to reference it real quick and look and say, oh my gosh, yes, the inspection is this day. So it's conversations though, like those initial stages of a transaction is conversation.
What's
And
in the
then
follow-up email?
the follow-up emails are reminders. So they
Okay.
can be a reminder text, a reminder email. Hey, this is when the inspections, like I said, the appraisal is going to take place soon. I'll let you know. The appraiser will need to get in. They have to verify what's on the MLS. Should only be there about 30 minutes, does most of their work remotely. And then that's going to probably take 7 to 10. You can gauge it by how appraisals are running at the time. Days to get back into the lending institution. And at that time, I will let you know and kind of setting them up. I don't get their appraisal report, wish we did, but I do get like the verbiage, whether it appraised that value and with or without repairs.
I think,
It's the same email that goes out, Joe and Sally and Bobby and Sarah, like it's the same, it's just.
it's a form email. Yep, you might
Yeah,
modify
just changing
the
the line.
intro sentence, but it's setting expectations. I think we swim in this all the time. And part of creating a client for life is them having as positive an experience as possible, which includes setting of expectations.
Yeah.
When we talk about, oh, this deal went sideways, how much of it was a client expectations issue that might have been helped by not just a conversation, but let's refer back to the email, not that you're holding it over them, but like, hey, this is a process and it does get stressful at times.
It can get hairy. Yeah.
But we're here to guide you. We're not making this up as we go.
Yeah.
Anything else to add? We're a little short on time, but lots of good stuff. there.
No, if anybody has any questions for me, you can always reach out to me. I'm on-
The other thing is, like, as a single agent, like, it didn't start this way, like,
Yeah.
it started with, like,
Mhm.
I'm writing down everything that happened and I'm giving it to someone and they create a system. But, like, if you're not a systems oriented person, like, find someone that is, and then they are the ones that are responsible for creating it, owning it, and then implementing it. and making it better and better over time.
Yes, if you're one of the
don't
people,
have to do that.
if you're one of the people in the room that's on the cusp of hiring someone or just hired someone, if the systems if you were to have created the systems, it would have already happened by now, to Jose's point. And so bringing someone in, not to outsource that, but to partner with you who thinks in those ways, like a Stacy, she's not for hire, but it's going to happen a lot faster and better than if you expect yourself to figure it out before you bring someone else into your world.
Or even mentoring with someone that has
Mhm.
great systems. And it doesn't have to be this elaborate system. You don't have to pay for top producer. You can get Excel and you can start off there. It doesn't
Yeah.
have to be this huge giant in front of you.
Awesome. Thank you, Stacy.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Thanks for having me.
All right.
Oh,
Tina,
I was like, are you kidding me?
come on down. We are a little bit behind, but we're making it. We can always make up time with Tina.
I'll be quick, yeah.
ID.
I wanted to add from the video, but I love that he said, which I think leads into what we're going to talk about today, is that good leaders aren't looking for followers or making followers, they're making other leaders.
Mhm.
And we do this here every day.
Mhm.
We aren't trying to just teach you so that you follow us, although we do love you to follow us. We want you to be leaders of your own business and your own life too.
Mhm.
Which leads into what I'm going to talk about today, which is Ignite. So starting on the 27th, we're going to be doing an Ignite series and we're going to be, am I good?
Yeah.
We're going to be co-hosting that with Elevate and Living. So that's going to go for 6 weeks.
Mhm.
We're going to be doing it 3 days a week. So it'll be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, starting on the 27th for 2 hours
9
in
to
the morning,
11.
9 to 11. Week 1, Mark and I are hosting, so that's going to be here. We are going to provide that on Zoom, but there's some conditions with Zoom. Obviously, the other offices aren't expected to come to our office, so they will be on Zoom. When we are hosting here, though, you are expected to be in attendance here. Or if we know who you are, who have dual careers, we're going to be okay with you Zooming. If you are on Zoom, you have to have your camera on and your mic on the entire time. We are expecting full participation. Each week then, like I said, it'll be a different market center. So we're doing week 1, we're doing week 4
Right.
here. The good news is with participation, just like in the KW way, like with Bold and stuff, you're going to get a little reward at the end, which if you have come to 75% of it, you will get your first transaction, not paying any company dollar within 6 months of Ignite.
Mhm.
So stand by for more information. There is a sign up for that, which will be an Eventbrite, which I believe is going
Yep,
out soon. So let us know if you want to attend that and get signed up, and then you'll look for lots of great information. Ignite has been revamped, so it's lots of more updated, really great interactive information.
And it's designed, we offer classes all the time, but this is, when we talk about getting serious about winning, whether you're brand new, this is certainly for you, but even if you've been at it saying, you know what, I never really mastered X skill, this is like intensive boot camp, basically 2 hours a day for 6 weeks, 3 days a week.
Yeah,
And so it's-
not just topics for brand new people at all.
Yeah, and so it's,
definitely
if you're
dig
wanting to get refreshed, serious again, kind of press reboot, this is what it's designed for. We want you to be here. Yeah, Nick.
What differentiates Ignite from Bold?
Bold is specific to generating business. It's kind of getting in the
There's
mentality.
different topics. So every day we'll have a totally different topic. So for example, working with sellers.
Yeah,
that's a
it's
topic.
more varied within Ignite.
It's sharpening skills.
Yep.
Yes, whereas
Exactly.
Bold is like go and get more business.
Yep.
Yeah, good question.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Awesome. Thanks, Gina.
Who
Appreciate it.
gets the mic?
I'll take it for now. And let's see, Lynn. Yeah, Preston.
Ones that are at other offices, broadcast.
Yes, yeah. So on weeks 2, 3, 5, and 6, the vision is come here. Gina or I will be hosting it as we watch, and then we'll be discussing and doing breakout in that way. So yeah, plan to come here every class session, and whether it's happening here or happening on Zoom is the variable.
So the little mics, these are all testing. I did not have enough time to test the video.
My fault.
I was on vacation. But I do have a couple classes coming up. So if you don't have a Google business page, we're going to create one for you. And that's going to be at 6 o'clock. So if you're dual career, it's aimed at catching you as well. And then if you haven't done commissions yet with me, I'm starting to work through Teams. I've had some good feedback, at least so far, at least I think. Get a hold of me if I haven't reached out to you. If you need help or a refresher, like I'm just confused. I do Zoom workshops. That way you can just pop on. And if you missed anything, you can just watch. And then you're like, oh yeah, that's what I missed. If you need anything, get a hold of me.
The Google business page is if you're not dialed in on that, you might have one set up, but you're doing it the wrong way, which a lot of people are. This class is going to be well worth your time. Oh, I'm double mic. This feels power tripping. Our friends with cross country, come on down. What's that? That's a bring your laptop and get it set up as we go. I was fully expecting Cliff to show up in a John Gruden jersey today.
I'm taking a week off.
I'll let you guys share this.
They don't need it for
I
my
know.
cloud. So.
So we just have an announcement. We're going to be
Yes.
doing a class with Stonegate on September 29th. It's a really cool class. It's going to be like a panel. Wanted to bring it up today because we're encouraging you all to come. It's basically communication on how interaction between lender and title and borrower is going to be. So it's important to understand the process. So we encourage you to come to that. And then
Yes,
but we'll talk about
should
it.
be really good too. And guys, one other thing I wanted to talk about just real quick too is we've got such great feedback from a lot of the classes that Jessica and I put on. What the new programs, new options, and things that are out there. So definitely, we're going to try to maybe even get with Mark or maybe even get Christy to try to figure out maybe like a survey to send out to you guys to kind of let us know what kind of what things we can maybe teach on, what things you may be looking to kind of explore again, or what other topics or things like that.
That's
Anything
great.
that we can do to help you guys grow your business is what we're going to do. So we'll get that in the works, and you guys just keep us posted on what you want to do.
Awesome. Thanks,
All right,
guys.
thanks, guys.
I can't commend the keeping your deals together class enough. The number of times I hear, yeah, but title dropped the ball, or yeah, but my lender didn't follow through. Like it happens. Deals get messy. And so having a good conversation about the agent role and helping to make things go as smoothly as possible so that our deals close is worth everybody's time. So thank you for offering that.
Yeah, looking forward to that. Thanks,
Yep.
guys.
Thank you. All right. Gina, I'm going to keep the screen up. And I've got these ready for you. So Gina,
Yes.
America's Preferred is rolling out an updated warranty program, and Gina wants to spend a couple minutes talking about what is true about that.
Yes, thank you very much. I appreciate it, Mark.
Can
So
you
we
unmute
have a
Gina?
grant.
Oh,
Can
she
you
is
hear me?
unmuted.
Can you hear me okay?
Hang on a
Mark, can
second,
you hear-
Gina.
Sure.
What's that?
I said she needs somebody nice.
Yeah.
Can you hear me
Try
okay?
again.
Can you hear me okay?
Mm,
Can you hear me? Can you hear me okay, Mark? Mark, can you hear me? Hello? I'm on. Can you hear me?
no, that's me.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hello?
Gina, I apologize. I think what we'll do is you and I will record a separate video and send it out to folks just so we can communicate it as well as
Okay,
possible.
sounds good.
I'm sorry about
Thank
that.
you. That's okay. Thank you.
There it is, and we'll talk about it more in greater detail. More coverage, different price point, all of that. A couple of just things coming up. Shift series. If you missed week 1, no problem. We had a great turnout of 39 people. Tomorrow's will be here. Next week's will be on Zoom in Mansfield. Like, we're moving around, but if you miss week 1, no worries. This is going to be value each time. Dominic Fonte and I are going to be talking about finances and running a sharp financial ship in a shift. So that's going to be a good one. Also, PSA trunk or treat. Mercedes, you want to mention for a second? It's coming up, but we need your commitments. Is that accurate?
Yeah, so trunk or treat is October 22nd, from 4 to 6. Set up is at 3 p.m., but we need to decorate the trunk. So Amanda, when she gets back, is going to send out a sign up.
And if we don't have 12, then we won't do it. Is that
Correct.
okay? So respond to that.
And we've already had created an invite. There's already about a handful of people that are interested in coming to it. So if you don't.
And the vision for this, just for those who are newer, we didn't do one last year for weather reasons, I think it was, is this is a free client event for you. It's hey, bring your friends and family. We don't need you to invite 1,000 people, but invite your top 50. Hey, we're doing this. It's a free way to be in touch with your database, like we were talking about before. But we don't want one car. Hey, come and trunk or treat it. Mercedes car. It's weird. It's awkward. So we need people to commit. Mercedes' mom showed up last time.
Family member wants to do it too. There's prizes for like the best trunk. We'll have people vote on it. Prizes.
Awesome. Thank you. All right, that is it for the formal portion of things, and we're ending basically on time. We're going to draw 3 names for those who are dressed for success.
Draw your name, you don't.
If you draw your name. All right, Scott, who we got?
Andrea Hyatt.
Andrea Hyatt. All right, Nick, who you got?
Samantha Wales.
Samantha Wales. And Ken, who you got? Jeff Berner. All right. Okay. So I'll let you guys pick. Thanks for coming out. We got food out there. If you're not on an ALC committee, feel free to join Level Up at 12:30, Growth at 1:30, maybe Finance at 2:30. Thanks all. Yeah, who knows? Thanks for joining on Zoom.